1999 Boxing Day Test match. There was a huge anticipation. Of course, India were playing against Australia in Australia, and also around a kid who was just about to make his debut. I have him right here in
How are you?
front. Yeah, that's Brett Lee Binga. Um, Brett, thank you very much for your time. I'm going to straight come to the World Test Championship. The series, the Border Gavaskar series is over now, and World Test Championship final is what we all are waiting for. Any suggestions, predictions with the way your team, that's the Australian team, fought here or played here in India? Anything that you are looking forward to?
Look, firstly, it's great that two great nations are playing against each other again, India and Australia. I think the conditions will probably, Australia might enjoy these conditions a bit more. It was tough for the Australians in India, playing some really difficult cricket on spinning wickets, but that's all part of touring. Especially when you come to India, you know that
Right.
the ball's going to turn. It's going to like a little bit of shape first up, but then it's going to rag big time. So, India played brilliantly. I thought Australia, parts of the series too, played some really, really good cricket. But I have to back Australia.
You have to back Australia. Any certain reasons, just because of the citizenship and nationality, or you think they?
No, look, I think the venue, will probably suit the Aussies. I think so. Yeah, they would have learned a lot from playing over in India. They would have learned a lot about the way India, I guess, showcases their talent, the way that they get ready for a game. So Australia had a really good tour in terms of some really good learning curves. Guys working on the sweep shot, guys using their feet, stuff that we don't tend to do back in Australia a hell of a lot.
All right, and what do you think actually went wrong this time around? Do you think the Australians mentally were not there, especially looking at those wickets, those turning tracks? It got to them a bit more than they expected.
Oh, look, I think, people can say, was it the preparation or lack of preparation? Could you go over to India a bit earlier, potentially? But good bowling on those wickets, and a lot of conjecture around the pitches too. But I don't have a problem with it. I think India can prepare whatever wicket they want because they have to also bat on that wicket too. So
Right.
I don't have a problem with that.
And Brett, there's this question that I always wanted to ask you or any Australian player. There was a time that India shared a very fierce rivalry with Pakistan. Australia had that sort of a rivalry with England, but you would realize that late 90s, in fact mid 90s, India and Australia perhaps now has the biggest rivalry. Maybe India's rivalry with Australia is bigger than
Yeah,
what Pakistan has, what they have with Pakistan, or what Australia has with England.
England.
Any reasons how that rivalry developed? And also, I'm asking you because you've seen that rivalry grow.
Yeah. Oh, look, I think when you talk about India versus Australia now, it's probably the number one test you want to play in. The Australians growing up, it was always Australia versus England, and it's still the Ashes are still very important. I think the Ashes are very right up there. But as I mentioned, India versus Australia now is becoming the box office. That's what a lot of people look forward to. As a young player coming through the ranks, you want to challenge yourself against the best. India are right on top, so yeah, I think it's that rivalry is strong, it's healthy, and that's why that World Test Championship is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, you've had a long association with India as a nation, as a country also, not just as a cricketer. You've come to India a lot many times. Um Anything that attracts you in India? We know that you play a lot of. In fact, you appeared in that movie also. I did a pretty decent job, and with that, and anything in particular that
I
attracts
think the culture, the people, the organised chaos, which I love.
organized
Um,
chaos.
India's fun. It's bustling place. It's loud. It's busy. There's a good vibe there, but the hospitality is the best in the world. They've got beautiful hospitality, lovely people, and they always make you feel very, very special when you go to India. So that's why I love it. My kids love going there. My wife loves going there. So India's very close to my heart.
You mentioned about World Test Championship. Should the Australians be wary now that now that Virat has that monkey off his back? He's got his 28th century. Maybe now that with that World Test Championship, bigger the occasion, you always rely on a big player.
Yep. Well, yeah. The fact that he's proven, he's still good enough at this top level, which he certainly is. I think it's the press writing him off every single day. It's like relentless. So he's carrying the weight of 1.5 billion people on his shoulders. So I think now he's got that, as you said, the monkey off his back. He can go out there and play some good cricket again.
The absence of Jasprit Bumrah.
It's missing for India, definitely. Wonderful bowler. I wish him well. I hope he recovers from his back, and with a few little potential technical changes and maybe increasing his run-up, hopefully that injury won't happen again.
Well, I remember when India first, in fact, Jasprit Bumrah, when he first toured with the Indian team to South Africa in 2018, Michael Holding, mentioned this during his commentary at that time, that he thought that maybe Jasprit Bumrah's career may not last that long because of his action.
Yeah.
The injuries might be very frequent. What would you suggest? What can he do? Should he limit his cricket? Workload management?
No, look, I think he's just got to back himself. He's got to have the right preparation, the right amount of rest too. But as I said, my advice to him, because he's a wonderful bowler, my only advice would be to increase his run up a little bit. Take the pressure off, because it's all 1, 2, 3 whip. So he's using his body to get the pace, whereas he could actually get the pace a bit more out of his run up. So if he increased his run up, then he might hopefully get less injuries.
There's this one fast bowler that everybody is talking about, especially in India. In IPL, of course, he is box office. That's Umran Malik. I'm sure you follow IPL very closely. You've seen him.
Yep.
You
like
think
him.
it's time? He's fresh, very young, raw, perhaps.
Get him in.
Test cricket.
Why not? Why not? I said he should have played the World Cup last year in Australia. They didn't take him out at the start, but he should have been there. He would have been first picked in my team, because raw pace. It's very hard to harness raw pace. You got to look after them, but you also got to throw him in the deep end sometime. Like, get him out there, allow him to play, and let him scare a few batsmen around the world.
Well, now I'll just switch to the T20 format. That's IPL. Another fresh new season, and perhaps this could be the last time that we may see MS Dhoni leading that Chennai Super Kings, or playing for Chennai Super Kings. A swan song, maybe a victory in the...
Hopefully for him, yeah. If it is, it's once again speculation, but if it is his last year, then he'd love to go out on a high, and that's winning another title. He's been so good, not only for India, but for CSK. His leadership qualities, his ability to make a team gel. He's the glue in the team. So if it is his last season, I wish him well, and I hope he goes out with a big one.
You've played for a couple of franchisees, KKR, Punjab Kings. How do you see this season? Any personal favorites that you have, or maybe just wearing that experts hat? Would you suggest anybody in particular?
Oh, look, there's always that sweet spot for KKR and Kings 11, or Punjab Kings as they know now. So I always like when they play against each other. It's always like you trying to pick which one's your favourite kid. You can't do it. I hope Punjab Kings can have their first victory. I really do. Same as RCB. So I'm surprised RCB have never won a title. Quite shocked actually with the calibre of players they've had. But maybe this year we might see a new winner.
One final question before I let you go. Sachin Tendulkar on our network yesterday, in fact a couple of days ago, he mentioned about change in ODI cricket, as in format. That you can actually divide. It's a 50-over game. After say about 15 overs till about 30-35 overs, it becomes a little monotonous. And toss also plays a very crucial role now that the ODI World Cup is going to happen in India. With due coming in the month of October and November, even you can rule out or take that option also out of equation, toss factor. So switch to play 20 overs one side, then you play.
Potentially, yeah. But I mean he's been saying that for a long time now. It's got merit, and it's still one of my favourite formats to watch, even though that there is that lull period. You know, 35 overs to sort of 42, generally a bit of a lull, but you know that's it's part of the game. So I don't want to see too much change, because then, you know, they've either got to stick with it or totally get rid of it. You know, I think if you change it too much, we can do whatever we want. T20 cricket, we've got the free hits, and we've got, you know, referrals and all these things. All these new things have come in to cricket in the last number of years. Let's keep it fun for T20. Test cricket's still amazing, and if 50 overs got a place in that format, well then leave it the way it is.
All right, Brett, thanks a lot for your time. I may have taken a bit more than what was agreed upon, but thanks for your time, and all the best.
Good man.